Everyone's kerfuffling.
Hello there, everybody. Welcome to another kerfuffle round table here today. Delighted to have Bruce from Hive on and Ben from Mars and Bar. How are you both today, sirs?
Very good indeed, thank you.
Yeah.
Excellent, good. And you, look at you. You've made the effort to look all neat and tidy. I think you are our best clothed visitor we have on these shows. Most of the time we get prop tech people and they all look like me, a bit of a mess. But anyway, you've gone that extra stage, Bruce. So well done.
With a pink tie.
Well, actually, that's good. Yeah, that'll do it. That's enough to get in on the acts. Guys, we were obviously one of the things we've been trying to recreate is do it in obviously a more digital safe thing because we're all being forced to is recreate those round tables that ran us so well when we were at the conference. The ability to hear from people like you, Bruce, and sitting around the table, there'll be 10 or 12 RAN agents, and normally there'll be one or two around that table that are actually customers. And because of that, the other people who are thinking about using the service are able to quiz them and they give their honest opinions, and it's usually really, really constructive. So that was my kind of thinking today about it. More specifically, though, actually, we talked about it when I had my little slot at the conference. I mentioned that you'd been working with Miles and Bar on a very secretive product and indeed project that you were very excited about, but you made the point I couldn't tell anyone about. I was a terrible tease when was it last week or the week before, but now we've got an opportunity to talk about that, haven't we, Bruce? So do you want to just give us a brief elevator pitch overview of what you're bringing to the market?
Yeah, absolutely. And yeah, I think the concept of talking about it round table with an agent that we're working with is fantastic. So a brief sort of, a history about Hive. We started our business about 8 or 9 years ago with our location information service that gave agents a listing tool and supported their local area expert ethos. And we have now sort of substantially added to that offering, partly due to a collaboration with a company called Lifetime Legal that focus on legally preparing clients on a sort of pre-described customer journey. And we can use a lot of that information to create a property information, a media pack for every single property listing that an agent has, sort of providing a lot of upfront transparency for buyers, which is in line with government drive for upfront information, particularly on leasehold properties, because we can carry out things like property information questionnaires and get a lot of documents in place at the outset. So as part of legally preparing clients, what's quite unique about us is rather than sort of keeping that information behind the scenes, we present that into our property information and media packs to give the agents a vehicle to use that information in a way that supports their brand.
Okay. And Ben, thanks for joining us today, Ben.
Pleasure.
Talk us through what really kind of caught your eye to start off with these property information and media packs from Hive. What was it that drove you to pick up the phone to Bruce?
I suppose it's two things really. One, the very fact that we're able to offer transparency to clients. As Bruce says, it's going to be a big thing, I think, in the next couple of years anyway, and probably something that becomes mandatory. But one of the big problems for the industry right now is the speed of sales, the number of fall throughs. So I think anything an agent can do and get their hands on to actually help with that process has got to be a good thing. So that was the first part of everything. And secondly, just the styling and the way that you can actually present that information and the vehicle to actually get that out to clients, for me, is probably better than anything else I've seen out there in the marketplace. I do believe there's obviously a few different offerings out there, property passport type offerings, but for this to be able to be used by clients and seen by clients, I think it offers something a bit different. So really appealed to us.
It hits it on both notes, doesn't it? It hits from a legal compliance point of view, but actually also very strong from a marketing point of view. And if you can carry those both through together, Bruce was kind enough to show me yesterday, actually give a sneak preview of it, and it looked. I mean, when you're compiling that much information, it would be very easy to make it overly complicated, stuffy, and less useful. But it has come out as a really tight solution, hasn't it?
Yeah, I think that the whole look and feel of it, the kind of customer usage of it as well. I mean, I've actually demoed it on mobile, on laptop, etc., and just it's really simple and easy to use. And for me, I think as an agent, trying to be progressive and move forward. If you look at how property details are traditionally done in PDFs and paper format now, they're things that are probably dying off more than anything. So to be able to send out what will be our property details in that format, I think is really exciting. I can actually see it being a real listing instruction winner as well, because sitting there with a client showing them how we're doing things is going to be completely different to any of our competitors. So yeah, really excited about it.
You're right on that, actually, where you're talking of the way that things have evolved. And actually, it's a bit like going back to the past, because there was a period there where you were actually able to do some really quite exciting stuff, but it was all using Flash, wasn't it? Which, if everyone remembered, you'd get the wholly annoying download the latest Flash upgrade to it. Apple despised it because that was always there. So whilst when you finally had the right upgrade, you could see some really, really strong visuals, it would actually leave you half the time thinking, oh God, here we go again, wouldn't it? Yeah. Now, the lovely thing about this, what you're talking about there, it sounds like it's responsive on these different devices as well. So it's like, it's optimized to make sure it works.
Yeah, absolutely. Essentially, each property's got its own mini website. You've got a bespoke mini website for every listing that you put on the market. And whether you're picking up an Android, an Apple, whatever device you use, it's customized to work with it, and it's been seamless so far.
And you talked about there in terms of, helping to cut things like fall throughs and everything else. Now, clearly, Miles and Bar, extremely strong market share. You do big numbers, don't you? So, whilst, you don't have to overplay what effect that might help, but you don't actually have to reduce those fall throughs and things like that by, too big a percentage, do you? And that will make a massive impact on the bottom line at a company like yours.
Yeah, completely. Whether it's the speed of the sale, so your pipeline turning just that little bit quick, every a couple of weeks, 4 weeks, whatever that ends up being. I think with the whole process mapped out, we're probably looking anywhere between 4 and 6 weeks shaved off the time frame, and then. Yeah, quite clearly for us with the sort of volumes that we do, that's significant. 1 or 2% drop in your fall through rate as a result of that, makes big difference on your bottom line.
And if we were to carry that through, extrapolate that out, again, one of the nice things about the RAN network and why suppliers fight so hard to get into it is ordinarily they're talking about the market leader or the challenger brand in each catchment area. Now, a wonderful effect of this, wouldn't it, is if those RAN agents could all prove that they were turning pipelines, it was taking less time to sell again. It really puts a badge of honor, doesn't it, on kind of the RAN agents again, delivering on what they're there to do.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, at the end of the day, everything we do is, or should be, on behalf of our clients to make their journey and their whole process as smooth and as simple as possible. So if we've got tools in our bag that other agents haven't got, coupled with that the RAM badge and membership, then we're setting ourselves apart from anyone we're up against, which we're probably doing to a big degree as it is anyway. But any new developments and any new tech that supports your day-to-day job and what you're doing can't be a bad thing, can it?
It's about choosing the right ones, isn't it? At the end of the day, there's a balance there. You don't want to go happy.
Yeah, there's so much out there.
Well, you do. I mean, that's half the reason we set up Kerfuffle was, if I was losing control of what was out there and I'm meant to be, the train spotter there, how do agents have time for obviously finding the right ones? Because otherwise you end up with that horrible Jenga pile of a tech stack, don't you? And it feels like you pull one bit out and the whole thing falls down, which
we're notoriously reluctant to do too much prop tech. It takes quite a lot for us to actually take on a new bit of tech. To be fair, we procrastinate for quite a lot of time over things and end up probably not taking up a lot of propositions. So the fact that we're going with this is probably quite a big thing for us in itself, really.
See, that was the difference there. You see, Bruce, you wore a tie, I didn't.
That's true, yeah. Stop wearing a tie.
So talk about how you anticipate using these in the business then, just to give an overview of where you think these will work best.
Yeah, so essentially, as I kind of alluded to, every single property that we put onto the market, these will become the property details for every listing that we put on the market. So essentially we'll be using it as a listing tool when we're going out seeing our clients, showing clients how we're using it, what it looks like, doing a demo in their lounge of the packs. Some of those people will have naturally seen those because they'll be receiving details from us over time. So essentially, if you as an applicant ringing up to inquire about properties on the market with us and ask for a selection of details, these are what you would be receiving from now on. So every single property will have its own mini website, as I say, and that will be our property details for each listing.
Excellent. And so because it's a URL, and Bruce, you might be able to tell me that this is, will these be able to be put onto the portals as well, if you've got the URLs, add them as a URL?
Yes, that we've tried to design it in a very flexible way, and because the idea behind what we're doing is actually bringing information together and forward preparing a lot of the legal work, and bring it all together. So we've got a pack itself that can be actually substituted as the agent's property details page. It can be linked within the agent's page and then uploaded to this agency CRM to pull through, to Rightmove and Zoopla and on the market. And any portal, and comes up Rightmove and now increasing the visibility for media packs as well, which is great for us. And we've also incorporated some of that modern look and feel in the property details section of our packs. But the other really interesting thing about how we built it is that we built it as an API. So an agent that has got obviously their own existing property details layout can incorporate certain elements of our pack within their own look and feel of their website. So we've got, say 9 tiles, for example, at the moment, which will be property media links. There'll be the property information tile, which is the really exciting part, which is all the protocol form questions answered up front. The agent could feed that onto their existing website within their look and feel using our API. And it's the same with all the data. I'm sure agents might be paying for plugins for school data, transport links. Yeah. We're providing that. Everything we do is free of charge, and we can simply just provide that as well as part of our offering. So yeah, the packs can be linked in their entirety, or almost it can be a menu system where agents integrate certain aspects of it.
That's great. So you've thought ahead. So people like high profile brands like Hunters, Connells, Foxtons, for example, those ones that actually have their own systems can essentially talk to you and then code with that API.
Yeah, they can use elements that they might already have if it might save some costs if we do things in a better way. And all the additional things that they're not doing, which and I don't think there are anyone that's sort of amalgamating this much information, can say, right, we'd like this bit, and then we can just simply feed the data into our own look and feel, really flexible, so we can enable the agents to do it in any way they like.
Excellent. And Ben, I'm always one for the sizzle. So am I getting ahead of myself here? Am I right in thinking that this could be quite a useful tool for prospecting as well, though? Couldn't you be going back to past clients and talking about what they're potentially, how you could be marketing?
No, you're reading into my mind.
Yeah, I'm just a shameless salesperson, to be honest.
Yeah. No, absolutely. I've already got ideas. Looking at some sort of social media and video content that we want to get out to promote how we're doing things now. Going back over old listings and also our current stock as well with clients that we're currently working with. Obviously, naturally, we'll be wanting to migrate those into the process as well. So yeah, I think it's like we said earlier, it's definitely an instruction winner, whether that's one that you're going to be sat in front of a client with, but also to get yourself through those front doors with clients
current listings as well. Of course, if they are stuck, as everyone is, with stodgy pipelines at the moment and everything else, and there's fall throughs happening, if somebody's been on the market for too long with another agent and they're seeing these wonderfully presented sort of micro sites and everything else, and then the stats are backing it up as they obviously are with you as a great business there, that's quite a difficult one to ignore, isn't it? Which again, I can tell by your smile. I can tell by your smile you're already well aware of.
The cogs are turning. Yeah.
Yeah, you did say cogs then, didn't you?
Yeah, I did say cogs. Yeah.
Okay, good. What would be your favourite feature of it at the moment? Do you think, really? Ben, what's the thing?
For me, it's there's some real clever bits of tech behind it that on the face of it you can't actually see. So the look and feel of it is fantastic, but some of the things that really make a difference and again stand out from other products that I've seen in the marketplace is things like the protocol page. It's all driven through the relationship with Hive and Lifetime Legal. The client fills out an online form, which is really simple. I've demoed it. I've done it all myself. But the clever part of that is then the information that they provide, that they only have to provide once, transposes onto the official Law Society documents, the TR 6, 7 and 10 forms. So they're actually then recognised and able to be used by the solicitors. Whereas some of the solutions I've heard that agents are getting people to fill out the forms and then solicitors are asking people to fill them out again. Also, through part of the process, the title land registry documents are obtained right at the beginning. So as soon as you agree a sale on a property, the searches are immediately ordered for the purchaser. We're not waiting for any documents to be sent over from another solicitor or customers signing their solicitors' forms. It's actioned immediately. So there's some real clever parts of the process and the technology that really do help speed the process up and make that customer journey so much smoother.
And again, going back to, I shouldn't pick unkindly, because of course you've got such a lot of people in your business that actually just a few minutes saved here and there has a massive difference again, doesn't it? Because they can't believe you do genuinely, as they call it, the dollar productive activities. Anything saved in terms of admin can go on sales and prospecting activity, can't it?
Yeah, not only that, if you think about your sales progression processes as well, whether you've got a team of progressors or, as some agents do, you've got your sales staff progressing files as well. Well, if those files are already legally prepared, you're not having to spend time trying to chase clients to fill out information and return it to their solicitors. So, even just that part of the process takes away a lot of burden from sales progression and needless phone calls and chasing on stuff like you say, you could be spending your time on doing much more important things.
Spot on. And I suppose when you go into these things, when it's got such a multifaceted kind of appeal to it and everything else, often there are things that you didn't expect as a benefit. Has that happened yet? Has there been things that you've looked at in the service and thought, I didn't expect that. That's a really nice feature.
Nothing that totally springs to mind. I mean, just the whole journey and the whole thing really is exciting, because you're getting your AML done, which for an agent is an absolute burden. I mean, we tried really hard to be really compliant, because you need to be, but getting sales staff to deal with jobs that are not the most exciting is difficult. And when you're coming up against tricky situations, trusts and different beneficiaries and companies, it gets tricky. So having a professional process and that taken off of your hands is fantastic. And then just the added benefits of the conversion of conveyancing for you, and then that customer journey. I think when you put the whole package together, it's fantastic. So I can't single out one little thing that surprised me. And being transparent, as you probably know, we've been part of helping Bruce design the pack itself, which was a bit selfish on my side, because I wanted it to be relevant for our business. But having that estate agency understanding of the customer journey, working with the technology side of things, has, I think, hopefully brought the pack together in a way that gives you all the bells and whistles.
I'm a big fan of it. I've labelled it PropTech 3.0. The old PropTech guys, you'll remember the old Solex's estate crafts and all the rest of that. That was one. Then there's this next evolution, you brief your markets and people like that. And unfortunately, in that wave as well, there were also those the bedroom techies, amazing techies, but lived in complete ivory towers, didn't know the estate agency world at all. So often just completely failed to deliver there. But what's really interesting, I think, is this evolution either of agents doing it completely by themselves, the likes of kind of Kai Wheatley doing his area tool, you've got Christian doing the depository, or cleverly people like Bruce getting you involved at the earliest possible stage, working in collaboration, so that horribly kind of techie phrase minimum viable product is absolutely kept to a minimum by definition, isn't it?
Yeah, that's been huge for me, to be fair. As I say, we're notoriously stingy when it comes to investing in certain prop tech. So actually being on board as part of the journey and having an influence in terms of not just how it looks and feels, but how that might connect with our clients and work in our customer journeys has been really useful for us, and hopefully it's been useful for Bruce and the Hive guys as well, to pull something together that's not only a great bit of prop tech and the customer journey, but relevant and useful day one to agents going out there doing the job.
I think you were saying that when we spoke on the show the other day, weren't you, Bruce? You were highlighting how good and productive a sort of partnership that had been.
Yeah, I can't overstate enough how much the impact of working with an agent and an agent of the caliber of Miles and Barr to ensure that the product is agent led, to ensure that it will do what we're designing it to do. I think if we weren't to have that input, we'd probably have something that definitely wasn't as good and intuitive as it is now. But we've looked and broken it all down to make sure that every single step in the journey makes sense and provides benefits to everyone. It's easy for the agents to use. It saves time, and all the benefits that we've outlined. And it's just simple because it has to be. It's designed to be a system that kind of almost works on behalf of the agent, and it's just triggered off by an AML referral. From that point, we just want it to do its job. And working with Miles and Barr, we've ensured we've designed it to do so.
Excellent. I mean, it's the time for me, a bit of self-promotion, but we've launched what we call our kind of Trailblazer program, and it's exactly that. Those agents that want to be at the forefront of carefully selected kind of prop tech, who want to engage with those agents, because I think, as Ben would say there, it's the ideal time to get in at the ground floor. You're never going to get a better deal. You're never going to get a better chance to shape the product as well. And crucially, and this is, I think, probably the main one, have for a period of time a real market delineator, to separate you away from it, and that can't be understated. I think in terms of getting it out there. So we operate that Trailblazer plan there for the suppliers to take advantage of. So
I think it also gives you as an agent the buy-in that the products are the one that you want to work with. The problem sometimes is that you get presented these things, and you're trusting it on face value that it's a good thing. Is it a good thing? Is it going to work? Isn't it going to work? You're never quite sure till you've actually signed up and you start using whatever you're looking at. So being part of a project, if an agent does get a chance to do it, and if you're running the Trailblazer, then I'd encourage anyone to try and do that, because your boots on the ground, you get to feel it and understand the whole journey then.
Exceptional. And so what would you, it sounds like, obviously, I think I know where we're going with this, but what would you say to other RAN members who are thinking of potentially using these property information and media packs from Hive?
I would definitely say have a look at it for sure. Invest a bit of time of getting a demo at the very least. I think I'm not trying to sell it to anyone, because it doesn't whether agents take it or not, it doesn't matter to me. But the fact that we're using it, you mentioned we do high volumes, which we do. If it wasn't something that supplemented our business and actually enhanced what we were doing, we wouldn't be doing it. So I would like to think we do make some decent decisions, and it's certainly something I think is going to make a massive difference for our business. And I would encourage anyone to at least get a demo with Bruce and have a look and feel the product for yourself to understand how it's going to work.
Excellent. You'll know yourself, Ben, which other kind of firms within the RAN network are similar like to yourselves, and they will be looking with great interest at what you're doing, won't they? Yeah. Because often you tend to see that those tech stacks or supplier stacks start to resemble each other, because what will work often for another one in their part of the market work yours. So I think that's a great bit of advice there. And again, we kind of discussed it halfway through, didn't you? If there is a halo effect from people doing this, and it does manage to raise those standards, then the RAN network as a whole improves, doesn't it?
Absolutely.
Excellent. That's great. And I suppose just a final say on this, Bruce, I suppose you're going to be quite pleased to hear Ben saying these things, because not least because it would have been awkward if he'd said anything else.
I've not sent in my invoice yet, have I?
That's right. No, it would have been a little bit upsetting if there was anything to the contrary. But no, I appreciate Ben's comments. I mean, he knows that we've been, I hope Ben won't mind me saying, but he's been quite, very specific with what he wants. So he's been very driven with us, but it's to our benefit, and to have that endorsement for, we've worked with Miles and Barr for quite a few years on our other products as well. So there's a relationship there built on being able to handle those volumes. So have that endorsement to be able to be recommended to demonstrate what we do to other agents is music to my ears. So yeah, thank you.
Excellent. Well, look, just the main takeaways then again: faster transaction times, meaning less fall throughs, more referral income, you know, the ability to save costs, not just real costs, but actually admin costs as well, giving you the free buyer information packs, and all with that wonderful last point of having the compliance burden taken away from you, isn't it? There's not many different products that can tick a lot of those boxes, are there?
Not that I've seen, that's for sure.
Excellent. Cool. Well, I think that's a perfect point to finish it. Just to make the point, of course, is Hive they are very proud partner members of the RAN network as well. Although we're very pleased to have them on the kerfuffle network. Go and have a look at their landing page. We've always got deals on the table from our kind partners as well there. So go have a look. Reach out to them direct as well. And there's a little lovely button there. Just asking them to get in contact, and Bruce and his team will happily have a conversation with you. But for today, guys, really good to hear of your feedback. Thanks, Ben, for taking the time. And Bruce, thanks more. It sounds like it's going to be a very interesting 2021 for you.
Yeah, I can't wait for many reasons to get started in 2021.
Excellent. Cheers, guys.
Yeah, thanks, gents. Thank you very much. Good to see you.
Everyone's kerfuffling.